Maybe just a background why Chris invited me. So we're currently working on making all of Pipeline work nicely on DCOS as well. And then we just had the idea to give a quick update. I was over at KubeCon and presented this talk here. You should hopefully see on my screen right now. And I just wanted to give a short report what I saw happening at KubeCon. I felt there were different hype cycles. So Kubernetes, which is really nice to see, is kind of maturing right now. Kubeflow, on the other hand, especially in Europe, still felt at the beginning. So I really like all the education Chris is also doing here and just getting people to really teach them what it takes to build up an entire pipeline. I'm the technical community lead. That means I'm responsible for new projects here over at Mesosphere. And currently, this involves a lot of projects in the data science area. So this is why I really enjoy collaborating with Chris here. And so maybe just the core message, what I've been seeing with a lot of people, like that might have been a bit biased for Europe as well, but a lot of people have just started using TensorFlow, and it's really all so easy to start on your own machine. But then people, they kind of underestimate the overall challenge. And there were multiple talks actually also saying that from just starting off Kubeflow on Kubernetes, it's still a very long journey. And this is also what our talk was about. So our talk was basically saying, hey, if you're running in a cloud environment, it's very easy to use Kubeflow. So for those of you who don't know, Kubeflow is like a default way to deploy a small subset of a data science pipeline, so the TensorFlow pipeline on Kubernetes. And it's really easy to start if you're a data scientist. But if you actually want to move on to a more production setup, you need more pieces. So we kind of focused on the big data pieces here. So we talked about how to do data preparation with Spark, how to do data storage with HDFS, how to do Kafka streaming for later on serving. And we actually also showed a bit of PipelineAI. So during the demo we had very little time for the demo, so unfortunately, we couldn't go into too much detail. And so kind of the message is what you should be aware of, that if you're in a cloud environment, using something like Kubeflow kind of is easier, but you should really think about all the other pieces. So today in this workshop, we'll focus a lot on the serving, I suppose, Chris, which is kind of the very crucial piece. But the overall pipeline just takes like some more thoughts than just Kubeflow itself. So this is kind of the overall picture I have of this entire deep learning pipeline. You need to think about some stuff for data preparation, some user serving, Jupyter seems to become the standard for TensorFlow. And you have some frameworks clustering, your models, and then where pipeline is really shining, the model serving part here. Probably you need some monitoring around that. You want to build that into an automated CI/CD pipeline. And as mentioned earlier, Kubeflow is just covering a small piece of that. If you want to learn more, we also had a webcast together with the PM of Kubeflow and the new stack. So I just recommend to watch this webcast here. I'll post the slides later on in the meetup group. And with that, that was just my short impression of KubeCon. So it was really nice to see there were over 4,000 people and just seeing the overall hype developing. But there's still like lessons to be learned. I felt the lessons there being learned for Kubernetes, where people really have production experience. For all the other pieces, it's really great that people like Chris are providing more education around that to get people ready for that. All right, with that, as we're short on time, I would actually hand back to Chris, unless anyone has questions.
Yes, I think we have time for some questions. Let's check on the chat here. People are asking if you can share the slides or if there's somewhere.
I'll put up the entire slides. It's a slightly modified version of our talk. I'll just put them in the meetup group if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect. So the meetup link, let me get that here.
I have it. I have it. Oh,
for that specific. Yeah, can you paste it into the chat window there? Cool.
And I said I'll be excited in one of the next meetings to actually show how Pipeline is also working in other environments.